Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to talk about the People's Choice winner. Toronto People's Choice Award every year is a big indicator of what will be nominated for Best Picture. Since I think 2008 was Slumdog Millionaire, if I do believe my facts are correct, the People's Choice winner has gone to be nominated for Best Picture, with the exception of one time in 2011. And this year, the award went to American Fiction. American Fiction is not necessarily...
This is interesting
expected.
because I was sort of I didn't know what to do for this, but I would have said that American Fiction was definitely a contender, especially because when they add a screening later in the festival, an additional screening for the public, you know that means that it might win People's Choice. And the films that had added screenings this year, American Fiction, Next Goal Wins, actually. And I think maybe Hitman, but you can correct me on that. Now, that should have led me to believe that American Fiction was the movie that might win People's Choice, because that's been actually kind of consistent in the last few years.
Well, sure, but you could also just go off of I thought maybe The Holdovers would win, because The Holdovers is the movie from TIFF that I would feel most certain is getting a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
But and you know what, this year TIFF in general, it felt like we had less Oscar movies at TIFF. So
we did.
I was kind of considering.
There's only two that I think now are going to be nominated.
Well, we can talk about Sing Sing later, but we're talking about this year's Oscar season. Sing Sing will be next year. But really, I was, me and you were talking. We were saying, look, if One Life won the People's Choice, if Boy and the Heron won the People's Choice, we wouldn't predict it. We wouldn't be predicting it. Or if Next Goal Wins won People's Choice, I wouldn't.
But they didn't win.
I know, but I'm just saying, while yes, the People's Choice stats great, I can't help but to be just slightly skeptic that this year was weak, but it beat the Holdovers. Okay, Holdovers came in number 2.
Yeah, that's what you gotta realize.
It beat the Holdovers.
It beat the Holdovers, and it kind of makes sense because I felt like there was a lot of energy and passion for the Holdovers, but it wasn't like the thing that infected festival audiences. Now, I wasn't sure that was American Fiction either, because in my circle of people I talk to, they're sort of on a similar page that I am with what they like to see. But I was at a public screening and it did go very well. It wasn't completely packed, but people were really hooting and hollering that they loved the comedy in the film. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, it seemed to be kind of a knockout ending. I should have taken it more seriously and been able to predict the outcome. Well, but I think I fell back to being like, okay, maybe I'll say the Holdovers. And I think I might have said American Fiction would be number 3 behind Boy and the Heron, because I was pretty confident Boy and the Heron would get in. The other really important thing that's more technical when it comes to what will win People's Choice is how many screenings did you have? It is not always important, because TIFF does weigh the number of seats and tickets sold to the actual votes. So they just want a high percentage of votes per ticket sold. That's why films like Scarborough, have placed in the past. But this year, it does seem to matter in years past. Now, Boy and the Heron have by far the most screenings. It was like 6 or 7 public screenings.
Why does it matter if they're weighing the seat count? I don't understand.
I think it just has correlated, okay? So adding the screening on top of 3 public screenings, it just generates buzz. Those movies are very widely talked about. They're usually, if you have a couple screenings, people might not be know that you're there or be that excited for you. So American Fiction had as many screenings as the Holdovers, as many as Next Goal Wins, that sort of thing. It had 3 and then it added 1.
Sure.
So Holdovers, looking strong in second place.
Yeah, that's
that was bound to place.
I'm pretty sold on the Holdovers being in Best Picture. No one's gonna convince me otherwise.
Now, Boy and the Heron was just the thing at this TIFF.
Well, it was the most popular. It was the most
Everybody was
movie.
Trying to see it. Everybody got a ticket. Everybody was able to see it. But third place, given that it was the most buzzy film, if it was better received, it could have won. But Boy and the Heron is not a unanimously loved movie.
It's not unanimously loved. I've talked to a lot of people who think, oh, that's great. But even with a Miyazaki film, and we were saying this before the movie came out, that people are going to be weighing it against your best if you're that kind of caliber filmmaker.
That's true.
Most people who saw the movie were not really saying, oh, this is top tier Miyazaki. Like a lot, even people who loved it were still had like some reservations. I think that prevents it a little bit from.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Boy and the Heron is, I think, the first animated film to ever place. It's still a big deal.
Big deal. I mean, I guess one question that arises here is how it can compete with Spider-Verse. I don't know if we want to answer that now or later.
Well, it didn't compete at TIFF with Spider-Verse, so I don't really think it matters. I know, but I'm just saying, like, this means... Like,
no. It doesn't mean that... But it means that it's a strong film. It was very well received, and although now there's no longer a narrative that it's Miyazaki's last film, because apparently the buzz is that it's not going to be his last film.
I mean, I still think that Spider-Verse is more likely to be nominated for Best Picture. I don't know that I have it in.
I agree, though. I don't think there's any path for Boy and the Heron to be nominated for Best Picture. I think that'd be kind of insane.
Nah, it's almost wishful thinking if people have it in Picture Director, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit wishful.
What do you think about American Fiction's Oscar chances? Because we reviewed the movie, we said, this will have like some screenplay and actor buzz, but I'm not really convinced it'll get there. Yeah. But now, I mean... I think we were a little naive, to be honest. I think you're looking at hindsight bias. Like,
no, I know,
but it doesn't matter. I want to hold true a little bit to what I saw, which is, the movie touches on some topics that are really interesting, and it does a really good job with the satire. Has a very good ensemble of performances. The writing's very good. These are ingredients for an awards film. I would say visually, it's okay. I don't think that the movie's going for a director nomination, probably.
Or any tech nominations.
Aside from maybe editing, if they really like it. Just because you can get that if they really like it. But, if this movie gets picture, it's probably going for picture, actor, screenplay, and then maybe editing. Yeah. I'm still like... I just want to... I guess I would probably put it in. And I think that there's a slot for it. Like, there's a slot in my predictions that's like a big question mark, and I can just throw it in there. But I don't want to be like, it won, so it's a lock. Like, I think that the fact that it won is going to make MGM say, we have to push this hard. Obviously, we're going to get nominated. And then everybody else, for everybody else, it's going to be a big title everybody's looking out for. So, even winning alone puts it on a certain pedestal. But I think it is true that I didn't talk to that many people who thought it was a 9 or a 10 out of 10 movie. Most people I talked to were very happy with it. They thought it was very good. But I don't know. And you know what? It's not as much of a tearjerker kind of thing as a lot of the People's Choice winners. Maybe I think that it did benefit a little bit from being in a year where it wasn't competing with, something else maybe. I mean, I don't know. If you threw in a lot of the Telluride movies and a lot of the Venice movies, I think Poor Things would probably be out top, but it's still think the holdovers, I don't know.
Poor Things would have won the whole fest.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it would have pushed the holdovers to number 3, and American Fiction would still be number 2.
I still think that I can imagine a lot of people being a little unsure about certain aspects of American Fiction, but I'll say this, at the least, I think this movie is in for screenplay. This movie is in for adapted screenplay. I think I would have it at number 4 right now. So that's a big... the movie will contend for the Golden Globes Comedy Musical Picture and Comedy Musical Actor. The movie will probably get Critics' Choice nominated for Best Actor because Jeffrey Wright.
I think it'll get nominated for Best Film at Critics' Choice.
Possible. Jeffrey Wright's at least number 6 right now.
Yeah.
At least number 6. And then, that's pretty good. If it can stay in the screenplay conversation.
I'm more assured than you are that this is big news and it means big things for the movie.
I mean, it obviously is big news and it means big things.
Well, it means big things. I'm not as confident as some other People's Choice winners where I was like, yeah, that was obvious going in there, like Belfast or Fabelmans. But here's what it has going for it. You're talking about nominations it could get. I could see it getting SAG Ensemble.
Yeah, that's
with the Best
true.
Actor nomination.
It has a lot of very good performances in it. I would give it that.
If it got that and WGA, which it's going to get, and PGA, you would have to have it in your Best Picture.
Yeah, 10. But I'm saying, what if
that's not that hard?
I'm just saying, what if it misses some of these 10s?
What 10s?
Like PGA and Critics' Choice.
No, I mean, but I don't. I think it isn't. It's not hard for me to see it getting PGA Critics' Choice.
I mean, I guess so, but I don't know. There's something about it that I'm I guess it can happen. I won't have trouble accepting it if it feels like it's happening.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say I'm sold. I'm just not going to say I'm 100% sold. And Jeffrey Wright in the Best Actor conversation, that's the other thing, is the top 5 as we see it is very stacked. And Coleman Domingo for Rustin is like, we watched that and you think, how do you not? Like, who would you take out in the Best Actor top 5? Would it be Coleman Domingo because he's not in a Best Picture nominee?
I don't know who I'd take out, but the thing with Jeffrey Wright is I would be more confident in this film getting into Best Picture knowing that Jeffrey Wright is going along, and it would be a crazy snub if he didn't. Now, I would like to see the nomination. I think he's really good in the film, but it's not quite as going deep as the other performances in this category.
Well, I don't know if it's not going deep. I just think it's maybe not. I think as...
it's not. It's all the emotional depth is not as much on screen as some of the other performances here.
I mean,
he doesn't cry. His character is a little bit stoic. His character is quite defensive and has his guard up, and he plays it extremely well. But we're talking about like what the Oscars might be more drawn to and what we consider an Oscar scene. There's not as many Oscar scenes here for Jeffrey Wright as there are for Coleman Domingo and Rustin, or Cillian Murphy and Oppenheimer, or Paul Giamatti and The Holdovers. But look, if the movie is in Best Picture, it's hard to see it going there without Jeffrey Wright. That's very hard for me to see.
But you can say that, and you can make the case that makes it a little less hard to see in Best Picture, or a little more hard to see.
Right.
I think that Jeffrey Wright. I mean, here's the other thing. He has a great narrative to get a first nomination.
Absolutely.
And like Coleman Domingo, he was in a lot of supporting roles, and now he's in a big lead role.
But the other important thing here is that he's very likable in this film. He's very, like, you're rooting for him. He's funny.
He's a little unlikable, but
for the audience. For the audience.
For most of the movie, yeah.
You're with him. I would have a hard time seeing this get Best Picture, not Best Actor, which makes me worried that someone else is going to get kicked out in the style of Robert De Niro missing for The Irishman.
Well, we'll see.
A movie that gets Best Picture nominated, and then he just somehow fails to.
Who are we talking about? Leonardo DiCaprio? Bradley Cooper?
Murphy.
Cillian Murphy not getting nominated for Oppenheimer
Cooper.
Is not happening.
Or Bradley Cooper.
I think Bradley Cooper's not 100%.
Crazy shit happens. That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess so. But also, look, Domingo for Rustin is going to be, most people say, well, not in Best Picture equals, I guess I have him out. But I don't know if it's so easy.
Sure, yeah, I don't know if it's so easy.
Jeffrey Wright's it's not difficult for me to imagine him getting nominated for the movie. It's just in this 5, it's difficult. Like, I think he does enough that people can say, we love you, Jeffrey Wright.
If it was last year, I'd be like, cool, you're number 3. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But this year, a little tougher. Now, I'm going to have it in for Best Picture. I looked at my Best Picture top 10, and I said, okay, you've got a People's Choice winner. And, what does the movie have going for it? It's really funny. It's obviously a crowd hit. The ending, for some people, is a knockout. And it's got a really good cast. It's got a lot of famous actors
aspect
in it.
Makes me think, okay.
Oh, yeah, watch out, buddy.
Okay.
Watch out for that.
And that'd be a deserved nomination.
And I think people feel like they're rooting for it. They like the message, and they feel like they're on its team.
Honestly,
and they like what it has to say about the sort of like fake liberal diversity that we're going for. That is important, and I like what it says about that. So I can make this room for this in my Best Picture top 10. I certainly can. All I have to do, I think I would put this above The Color Purple. That movie has not come out yet. And I could put this above, I could even make an argument to put it above Maestro, honestly.
I don't know if you could.
I could maybe, though. The point is I can maybe do it.
I guess.
that makes it.
But don't you think? But I mean, it has.
And even and by the way, even if I didn't put it above The Color Purple and Maestro, that would still be number 10. What I'm really putting it over is like Spider-Verse and what else? I mean,
I think American Fiction seems less likely than other movies to be people's number 1 favorite thing of the year. I don't know.
I don't really agree with that, though. I don't know.
Okay.
I think some people.
See.
Look, we saw firsthand. Some people really loved it.
Yeah.
Some people coming out of our screening really loved it. We were the only ones.
I guess whatever.
That liked it a little less.
I mean, look, I can concede. I can put it in the 10.
You
should put it in for screenplay. I don't know how I can fit it in for actor. And honestly, if I have it in for those, I'm going to put it into editing because it makes more sense than any of the other movies in Best Picture. I would do that. And I would probably I could throw it in for SAG Ensemble and it not be that much of a problem.
That's pretty easy too.
Now,
look, I mean, all of the caveats being said, all of the hesitation, this one, People's Choice, I'm going to put it in. That's pretty strong. And it's not a movie that I walked out saying like there's not a chance, and especially it being locked in for screenplay, I think it's pretty dang in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting it at number 5. I'm not saying that, oh my god, this is going to win. This is one of the front runners now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
But I can,
a bottom 5 Best Picture movie.
Also, we should mention, Origin didn't place, like, This is not surprising to me, although there were a lot of sniffles in the audience. That, I mean, to be fair, Origin and Sing Sing didn't have a ton of screenings like other movies that placed.
Correct. And Origin also
every year this
premiered
happens.
a little later in the festival. I think Sing Sing's problem was that it didn't quite have enough screenings.
Yeah,
It was
but
obvious
Origin,
that it was one tier below some of the bigger premieres.
Well, I just want to talk Origin first. Like people who were gung ho on Origin getting in. Like I just think you need to relax a little bit. Probably, most likely relax. Not a zero chance, but most likely relax. And then,
Okay.
Sing Sing, A24 bought it. Aiming
Yeah,
for next
big
year.
news.
This is exactly what they need to do. And, why not make some bold predictions for next year? This movie's going to win SAG Ensemble in a year and a half from now. This movie's going to win SAG Ensemble in a year and a half.
Now that's a bold prediction.
You can say it's bold, but I almost feel like it's a no-brainer. I feel like Sing Sing's actually going to be the biggest. I feel like, here's my other bold prediction. Sing Sing's the biggest Oscar contender that I saw at TIFF, but it's not coming out this year. But it's still bigger than The Holdovers. And it's
We've
bigger
been
than
talking a
American
lot
Fiction.
about this actually, and I can't help but agree. The movie is too feel good and it's too important that I think it's going to get nominated next year.
It has a great
And not only
combination.
that, if it gets nominated, I think it wins SAG Ensemble.
I think it might win Best
that
Picture.
kind of movie. It feels like a Coda. Okay, it feels like a Coda.
But while also being better than Coda and having more nomination potential than Coda,
Yeah.
and having critics on its side probably a little more than Coda. Like I think that critics and audience are going to get super behind the movie, and it has a easy crowd pleasing element to it. It's not going to be difficult for anybody to like the movie a lot and to want to get behind it. What do you? Oh, shit, thank you.
By the way,
That's what
I
I'm
know we
saying.
closed the book on American Fiction, but that's got a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes with an 8.2 average rating.
All right, I accept.
This may
Fine.
very
That's
well
fine.
be some people's favorite movie of the year, one of them.
Well, I'll watch it again with an open mind to liking it a little bit more. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
SAG Ensemble not undeserved. But anyway, that's I mean, yeah, Sing Sing.
Yeah,
Look
Sing-
out for it next year. I don't know.
and did you list the nominations of that could get?
Picture, actor, maybe not director. Probably
No,
not
not
director.
director.
Picture, actor, screenplay, supporting actor. Maybe score and editing. I think
Right,
editing.
maybe score, maybe
maybe
editing.
score, maybe editing. That's it.
That's like if they really love it, though.
And
I don't even
was
feel
there
like
not
that's
an
bad
original
editing.
song at the end of the movie? I feel like there,
I
that
do
there
not
was.
know.
I
I
believe
do
that
not
there
know.
was, but it was kind of cliche.
Not sure.
Yeah, but I think Sing Sing has a shot to like win some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do want to over predict things. Anyway, I don't have. Yeah, but this year we're dealing with a different situation. Are we done talking about this?
Yeah,
Do you
I
have
don't
anything
think
else to
I
say?
don't think there are any other films that are on our radar for Oscars from this year's TIFF. I mean, international Green Border.
Well, they're not gonna fucking submit that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the country hates her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw the Teachers Lounge. That could get nominated, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's about all I have to say.
Oh, the animated film The Peasants.
Maybe.
Possible from
Possible.
the makers of the Loving Vincent film.
Yeah.
Every frame is painted. I saw it. It's very good. It's very good. Didn't like blow me away, but the animation's incredible. The colors are incredible. It's beautiful looking.
Yeah.
And I guess that's about it.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Did you put American Fiction in your predictions?